Hi there, this is Wisdom here. Um, Today, I just want to talk about relationships and the subject of the spirit of Jezebel. Um, yeah, the thing is, there's been a lot of talk about I think the spirit of Jezebel many over many in many circles actually, and we're at a point where because of that. But I think the main focus has been the focus of the church. In other words, there's been talk about the spirit of Jezebel in the sense in from the perspective of the church, and so that has been a case where, um, in terms of Jezebel and its ability to undermine relationships in both in churches and in particularly in institutions, and obviously this has a very big impact in terms of how churches maybe fail to grow and churches remain stagnant as it were, and also the fact that people within those places are very much undermined, compromised, abused, and things like that. But I think, having said that, we can't ignore the very fact that there are plenty of marriages that have really gone down in flames because of that. And the other thing that I need to highlight as well is, although it's called Jezebel, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's only found in women. The truth of the matter is that because it is a spirit, you find Jezebel in men and you find spirit of Jezebel in women. And so the one of the key things about it is the very fact that with Jezebel there's manipulation, there's control, and because of that, so, and also the other thing is there's intimidation. So those are some of the three key characteristics of the operations of the spirit Jezebel. So obviously you find that there are plenty of people right now who are actually dating, but who are in a position where they feel maybe their boyfriend or their girlfriend is very manipulative, very controlling, and sometimes very, very intimidating. And one of the key things with intimidation comes fear. So one has to be very careful when someone is in a position where maybe they feel they're scared of their spouse, they're scared of the boyfriend, they're scared of the girlfriend. It's not a very good sign. So having said that, I think if you put all the variables together, I think it's very, very easy to identify a situation where spirit of Jezebel is in operation. And one thing we have to recognize is that what you tolerate, you cannot change. So that means if you allow the spirit of Jezebel to rule over your life in the dating process, or you continue to put up with someone who's operating within the spirit of Jezebel, then that means eventually, if you come to the point where you get married, you're gonna be in trouble. And this is unfortunately the scenario with many men today, where many men, they're feeling trapped, and even many women as well, they're feeling trapped in a position, in a place where they feel like they're trapped. They're in a prison. The man abuses them, or maybe the woman abuses him. In the case of a guy, and they're at a point where they really are not happy anymore, and it's just misery. They feel trapped, and they end up doing things that they don't want to do. Not, I do believe in doing things because you have respect for someone and you want to honor a request. But to be honest with you, many people are actually in that position where maybe they're doing things for their husband because they're afraid. They're doing things for their wife because they're afraid. Now that's not a very comfortable position. But having said that, I think that's something that would depend on those particular people in those particular circumstances in terms of working out what's the best thing for them. But I think today I want to focus more on the singles, because you do have an opportunity, particularly when you're not married, to be able to walk away from any character or any situation maybe where you feel like you're being undermined, you're being abused, and you're being manipulated and controlled. Because I think in the book of Revelations, it's quite clear that in the book of Revelation, it's quite clear that you are not meant to be tolerating Jezebel. And unfortunately, that is it is a sad reality that in churches you find that where Jezebel is ruling. Now, one thing people have to understand is demonic spirits don't travel alone; they travel in groups. So whenever you have the spirit of Jezebel, you would have spirit of witchcraft, and you would also have sometimes spirit of fear, and you also have spirit of death. Now this is crazy, because with the spirit of death, that means in a church, everything that they do dies. Okay, everything that they do is divine dies. All departments, nothing is working. No one is growing. All you have are complaints from left, right, and center. That complaints throughout. Not only that, but in some cases you'll find that there's a lot of miscarriages over the house. Now if it's a case where maybe it's an unfortunate case, I mean, look, these things happen. My heart goes out to, to anyone who's been in such a situation, but I'm not talking about a situation where this has constantly been happening all the time, where where they've been like year after year. Miscarriages are just part and normal of a particular church. You'd be shocked what's out there. You'd be shocked right now that there are plenty of churches right now who are operating or are being ruled by the spirit of Jezebel, spirit of death, ruling over the house, and no one has done anything about it. But year after year, there are plenty of miscarriage in the church. That things are not meant to be that way. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate when particularly it's coming due, because people are under a church that is operating under the spirit of Jezebel, and obviously that has links to the spirit of death, and that continue ruling over church. So it's very unfortunate. So that's why I think in Isaiah 56 talks about, where the watchmen and things like the churches in slumber, things like that. So I think it's I don't want to do this particularly more to the people who are single, because as single people, you still have an opportunity to be able to identify some things and say, you know what, I'm not happy with this, I'm going to walk away from this, because really you're not doing yourself any favor when you continue to put up with the spirit of Jezebel. You need to walk away, or you need to find a way to get that person that is under the spirit of Jezebel to be delivered. So again, that comes in again as a personal choice. I guess no one can come up with a specific sort of prescription as to the actual steps, obviously, because in any situation there are variables at play. But obviously I would imagine that this information I've given you today, if you're in any particular situation like that, you're able to sit down and work out what's the best way forward for you. So I would encourage you to check out the blog post below, and any other and many other links that I'm going to put below this video. And having said that, always remember, you have a common destiny, and you're created for a purpose. There's a destiny out there for you, and this is Wisdom here. And Wisdom, I'm going to pronounce my surname for someone in Beaumont, Texas. Okay, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Brandy in Beaumont, Texas. Okay, how are you doing? And and having said that, always remember, you have an uncommon destiny. And this is Wisdom here, Wisdom Mopuzi. Otherwise, you guys, I'll catch you later. See ya. Bye.